But welcome back to Division 1 Rejects. This is episode 72. This is August 4th. Fellas, we're close to camp. We're this close.
Happy birthday to Tom Brady.
Get out of here.
And happy belated birthday to my little brother.
Okay, well, we're here for that one.
Shout out Carson.
Shout out Carson. Happy birthday to Carson, but we don't need no Tom Brady. You over here. Come on. We ain't a Tom Brady. We ain't a Tom Brady podcast.
Happy birthday,
look at these guys
Tom.
over here. The man's happy
birthday, Tom.
Yeah, that was a solo clap right there.
Over there, bro.
We got a lot more really good content today besides shouting out Tom Brady. We've got two great guests on this show. The first one will be joining us here shortly. It's Mikey Gow, the name that you either know exactly who he is or you don't know anything about this kid. He's from Nebraska. He's a 14-year-old quarterback from Nebraska. The thing that makes him very intriguing and why we want to have him on the podcast, first of all, we already reacted to him. I don't even know how many episodes back. That was a minute ago.
13.
13 episodes?
No, just
You're making up a number. Yeah, I know you were. But the thing that makes him special is that he is an ambidextrous quarterback. He's right-handed, but he also throws with his left hand. So he's broken the internet a few times, had a few videos go viral, picked up by ESPN, SportsCenter, the likes, all that stuff. Taking some really big official visits to Michigan, Nebraska, I think Oregon was, I'm not sure. There are a lot of big schools up there, but hometown Nebraska kid. He is going to join us here shortly, talk about his recruiting journey, all about how he throws the ball with both hands when he picked it up. That'll be really exciting. But a guest that I'm also really excited for. The GLIAC announced some new news earlier this week. We're adding a new provisional member, and that's football. They have 15 athletics. It's Roosevelt University is being added to the GLIAC. So who better to have on the show to talk about the new GLIAC member than the Associate Commish, Cam Trudell. Cam's been on the show before, but he has not been on the show since it was a video podcast. He just called in last time. So I think it'll be more fun. It'll be a little more engaging, right?
More personable, yeah. For sure.
Exactly. He's a great guy. He played football at Walsh, so we're excited to get him on. But otherwise, fellas, as we look into our other topics for today, like I said, the GLIAC, new school added to the conference. That's huge news for us. We're down to 7 teams right now for football specifically. That's a troublesome number.
Getting thin.
Yeah, it's a very troublesome number, and this is a big addition for them. So we'll talk to Cam about that later in the episode. NFL-wise, the Dolphins, we talked about them a few episodes back. They're losing draft picks. Their owner's getting suspended. He gets fined, which is really chump change for him. But all the tampering stuff was legit with Tom Brady.
Yeah, and when we talked about it, I'm pretty sure I was like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, like, this is garbage. And I had laughed like, yeah, it's probably fake, but like, we get a quick headline out of it. It was fun laughs, talking about him and Sean Payton. So we'll talk about them. The Dolphins are getting some serious repercussions from that. The NFL is coming down hard on them. And then we move on. The Steelers, they finally paid Diontae Johnson. He was the last receiver, I believe, in that 2019 draft class to finally get a deal done. He was doing one of those hold-ins too, correct, with the Steelers? Mm-hmm. So that's big news for him. Got paid pretty handsomely, I thought. And deservedly so, or no?
Yeah.
No, for sure.
I feel like he got some more.
Yeah.
Well, if he had tested the market, he'd have got more money.
You think so?
Somebody would have gave him
free
50.
agency?
Somebody gave him 50. Easy.
Really? Which is how the market is right now?
Yeah.
I think
the
that's
demand
fair.
for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk got 84.
That's the one that
Diontae
everyone
Johnson
goes back
can get
for.
50.
Yeah.
Crazy. Diontae Johnson's better than Christian Kirk.
That's the one that
For
everyone
sure.
seems to go back
think
to.
he is.
But rounding out our NFL news, we've seen Aaron Rodgers' tattoo. We've called him a plethora of names on this show alone. He
Outstanding
really
citizen.
jail. He really. I'm not even. Yeah, he really came out and said that he did almost exactly what you said.
Oh, he was tripping.
He was literally tripping.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a lot about him a little bit later and about the tea that he was consuming that he claims is a big reason why he was A, able to win back-to-back MVPs, and B, able to show unconditional love.
To who?
That's how he said it. Unconditional love. Bro thought he was on Joe Rogan for a second.
Hey, I will say, there's been a lot of research in like clinical sciences regarding like the usage of psychedelics, regarding like PTSD, depression, anxiety, all these things.
Yep.
So I think he might be onto something, but I mean, obviously this is kind of a shock to the public that an NFL quarterback would be doing all these drugs.
Very much
But
so. Very much so.
There's been a tad bit of research actually regarding.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I mean, like, we'll get into it later, but
sure.
he's an interesting dude.
Yeah.
He's a cornball for sure. But as always,
Definitely.
you can watch this episode on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget little red bar at the bottom of the screen, timestamps. You want to go to see Mikey's conversation. You want to go see our conversation with Commissioner, almost said Commissioner Goodell. It's Trudel. Maybe one day. That'd be badass. Shut up. But if you want to go see our conversation with Commissioner Trudel, fast forward that way. Fast forward, we got some more funny clips at the end of the show if you want to stick around for those. Otherwise, stick around, watch the whole thing. You can listen pretty much anywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. Follow us on Twitter at
D1_rejects.
and on Instagram at
Division 1 Rejects.
to see highlights from the show. Fellas, before we get into all of that great stuff, sipping psychedelic tea, shotgunning Gatorades, all the things. Let's go to the conversation with Mikey Gow, the ambidextrous quarterback. Joining us first on today's episode is, most importantly, a dude who can sling the rock, right? We know that. We've seen that. We reacted to him a few episodes back. But what makes this guy special, he can do it with both arms. He throws righty, throws lefty. He's already broken the internet a few times. I posted a little video on our Instagram story today of a clip of him on ESPN where the dude's like, this could be the first ever ambidextrous quarterback. That man is with us tonight, Mikey Gow. Mikey, what's going on, man? Glad to get you on here.
What's going on? Thankful to be here.
Of course, dude.
Ready.
Good stuff, man. Kate was saying you got the flow going. How long did that take you?
I've been going out since August, but I got it like trimmed up here and there. So
okay.
I haven't cut it since January though, so a little bit.
What's the that's the final look? You're not going for anything?
Nah, for football season, you got to keep the quarterback look. So
okay. I wouldn't know anything about that.
I mess with it.
I couldn't do that. But I guess just right into it, bro. When did you decide that, hey, I'm gonna try throwing this thing lefty and then double down on it and be like, I think this can work in a game and I'm gonna stick with it? When was that thought? When did that first come about?
I started out as a baseball player when I was younger. I've been playing it since I was like 3. I stopped playing last year because I just stopped. My passion stopped for it. So I was pitching in a state game for baseball when I was 9 years old, I think, maybe 8. But I was pitching and I threw 60 pitches in 6 innings against the #1 team in the state. So I blew my arm out. I split my growth plates. I was out for 9 months and then it went to like 11 months later. So I was basically out for a whole year. So I was just kind of bored and just sitting everywhere for like a couple months. And then my mom asked, why don't you just try to throw lefty? So we started working on like wiffle ball stuff and like, just like getting my coordination down and stuff in my left hand, eating a bowl of cereal with your left hand first, just really get the coordination down. And then, after that, we started working on like accuracy and stuff with the baseball. So then I brought it up to my coach and, I asked him. So I played a little bit lefty. I played first base lefty all through when I did it. And then I switched pitched here and there. So, after I stopped playing baseball, I thought, I don't want to be done with this and I want to try to, revolutionize the game. So I brought it over to football and, I've stuck with it since then. So I've been doing it for a while now, but, I just didn't come out with it till I was ready.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, like you didn't want to come out and not give yourself like a finished product or anything like that. And you see that a lot in baseball. Yeah. Not necessarily guys that throw with both arms, although there is one MLB pitcher I want to say right now that's doing some of that, right?
Yeah,
you know that?
That's my inspiration. That's
I
Pat
think he's a
Vendetti.
relief pitcher.
Oh, so no, what were you saying? Is your inspiration?
Yeah, it's Pat Vendetti. I met him like a couple years ago, but
Did you really?
Him.
And
Yeah.
is that where you got the original idea?
Not really, but like I found him after that. So
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Gotta run with it.
Yeah, dude, that's sick, man. So I know there's one guy, like you said, in MLB doing it now, but still uncommon as hell. And uncommon, I don't think does even justice. You see a lot of guys switch hit. You don't see a lot of guys switch and pitch. Now, going over to football like that, I'd imagine, was your coach, because I listened to your coach, is totally behind it, which is awesome. But was he like that from the beginning? Was he like, yeah, let's totally give this a go? Or was he like, quit pulling my leg, like you're going to play quarterback and throw with your right arm?
Yeah. So last year we had a different head coach.
Okay.
I never really brought it up to him. I don't know why. I guess really last year my left arm wasn't really prepared either. I really hit my left arm this off season and this summer. I started working on it a bunch. So, I wouldn't put it on him that it was like his fault that I didn't throw lefty or anything, but I just wasn't prepared. I started working on it in the off season, and then this year got a new head coach, super positive, super great-minded guy. So really, he lets you do anything as long as you feel comfortable with it, and as well as you're able to do it. So in practice, I usually do it on like rollouts and stuff. I've yet to whip out like a little looking this way and then flip left, but hopefully I can.
That'd be clean.
Hopefully I can do that in the future, but right now I'm just focused on like rollouts, and that's what he wants me to be focused on. So
I got you. So it sounds like I was going to ask you if you got to experiment with that last year at all, but it doesn't really sound like it. But now you at least had the chance to, like you said, like go through and maybe not perfect it, but get it to a point where it's actually serviceable, right? Like you feel confident right now. If you had to play tomorrow, you could sling it with the left hand too.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot more consistent with it. Like even at the beginning of the summer, when that video came out, it was like good, but it wasn't like where I wanted it to be.
He's even better now.
Yeah, after the video, people, I went to so many camps and people would want to see it at the camp. So I'm like, because like if I did it bad, they're like, oh, that's not you. So I'm like, you got to like get it down. So I focused all of June getting it down. So I think now it's good and able to be shown off. So.
No, that's awesome, dude. Kate, you had something for him?
Yeah, Mikey, appreciate you coming on, man. And you're talking about that video, and obviously as kids growing up, you're always watching SportsCenter, you're always watching ESPN, and you're always trying to make that play, you know what I mean? Like a diving catch in the outfield or this or that, you know what I mean? So that video kind of going crazy, doing numbers, like that's got to be pretty surreal, especially for a kid like, what, you're 14, 15?
Just turned 15.
Just turned 15.
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
But that's got to be pretty surreal, and you got to take that all in at the same time. So how did you did you know that was going to happen, and like you'd get blown up, like you're getting blown up? And two, has like anything football wise surfaced from that? You know what I mean? Like, how is it any more opportunities, camp invites, this and that? You know what I mean? Came from that.
Yeah, well, I'll answer the camp invites one first, but obviously that helped me. I got followed by a bunch of coaches after that. I got invited. I just went to Baylor camp a few days ago, and I love that camp. I love their team. I love everything about them. So, but the quarterbacks coach, Sean Bell, he told me his son found me on YouTube, and he showed me. He showed Coach Bell the video, and he was like, "That's awesome." So he followed me on Twitter, gave me a camp invite, came down. He loved me. He introduced me to Coach Aranda. So it was a great time. Yeah, definitely with that, a lot of colleges have reached out to me and shown love to me since then. But with the how surreal it was, that was crazy. I didn't go to school for 2 days because I was so amped up. And
Are you serious?
I would have been looking at my phone all day, getting in trouble and stuff. So I didn't go to school for like 2 days, and then I just stayed home. I literally sat in my dad's office since he works from home, and I was just like telling him my follower count and how much it was going up and all the love I was getting and stuff. But yeah, and then I don't know if you saw, but Lamar Jackson quote retweeted it.
That was huge,
sick,
dude. That was that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure for you much more so than me, but I remember seeing that, dude, and I was like, this kid's got it. Before I knew you, obviously, and this kid's got to. I mean, like this kid's got to be just freaking out because I know that's exactly how I would be, man.
No, yeah, and then that happened in school too, and I was in weights period and I didn't lift weights because I was so like it was just so surreal.
And I think I saw something with IMG too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you just got offered a spot at IMG, I want to say, right? So has that been something that you've been considering here over the next couple of years?
I'm not sure right now. Still a lot to go down there and stuff, but
for sure, yeah.
It's definitely an interesting opportunity and a great opportunity. So me and my dad are looking into that. We're also looking into other stuff, but this season I'm just focused on my team right now. So
Hell yeah,
man.
Hell yeah. Good answer.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, good answer.
That's a great answer.
We love that. We're getting you ready for all the potential media days. Because, hey, we aren't going to do it. There's going to be some clown out there that puts you on the spot, especially with something like that, too. Some local guy be like, you want to go down to IMG? You don't want to play for Bellevue anymore? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Mikey, I love that answer, man. Especially like as a quarterback, you got to be like a leader on your team, and like I feel like all your teammates are gonna like that answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of props for that. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
100%. Now, hey, I want to say too, congrats on the NIL deal. You signed to the agency, but also Soldier Sports, right? Mm-hmm. That's your first big one. You said it was the next Under Armour. Congrats to you, though. That's big time, dude.
Yeah, thank you. I've been looking at Soldier for a while. Me and my dad, we started a business, or not a business, but we just started like a logo. And we were thinking if I ever blow up, if some miracle happens where I blow up, we'll be ready for it. So me and my dad created my logo. It's like an M switched. So like it shows the switch ability, and then it's the M for my first initial. So it just started something. Yeah, and it actually looks pretty cool. So we just started that logo. But with Soldier, yeah, I've been looking at Soldier forever. They have a sweet brand. They're national. So, that was really cool.
That's huge, dude. Yeah, send me that logo. I'll be sure to throw it on the graphic that I post for you later because that sounds awesome. But like I said, talking about moving over after you had kind of discovered you could do this with baseball, you move over to football, and now your head coach is totally behind you developing that skill. But I can't imagine that everyone, or more specifically every coach, is a total believer in that, especially at the college level, right? A lot of these guys are very set in stone in how they do things. What do you tell those guys that clown on your idea right off the bat, and how has that affected, I guess, your recruiting in that aspect? Besides, we've kind of talked the positive side a little bit with the Baylor thing, but I got to imagine there's some stories from the other side, too.
Yeah. I won't say any specific colleges, but
of course,
a lot of colleges have turned me down and say, like, we just want you focusing on your right arm. We just want that to develop because of course, I'm good with my right arm, but so they want me to stick with that. So I've just told them, no, it's because they think, every person that's told me that, they think it's like I'm going to drop back lefty in a game and it's going to be 50% righty, 50% lefty. But that's not what it was used for. It's just like rollouts and different advantages that I can, move my arm around the defender if his hands are up. Like I don't have to flip my hips and stuff. Yeah. So that's usually what I tell them. Just like it's not like I'm using it 100% of the time. It's just a little trick, and if Patrick Mahomes can do that stuff, I feel like I can too.
Hell yeah.
I feel like you had to watch our episode where we talked about you because we were talking exactly about those things, dude, 100%. Man. Literally like about the hip switches and the rollouts. You know what I mean?
And if you guys remember, like we were talking about the rollouts, right? And I got up and I was doing this thing. We were talking about this drill. I believe it was Texas. I could be totally wrong. I believe it was Texas was doing this drill with their quarterbacks, all of which were right-handed. And instead of trying to throw on the run and like to the left and like turn their shoulders out like this, they were throwing and turning back. So it was like, you might be able to see me here, Mikey. They're here and they're coming across and they're flipping like this into a back pedal.
Yeah.
They looked like idiots watching the drill, I will say. Yeah. But like, if Texas is doing it, there's got to be some type of reasoning behind it. I don't know. There's been some goofy stuff, but you're not gonna have to do any of that shit because you can just tip the other hand, and check it out.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Good. And then I want to say too, there was the other thing that I think it might have been your dad that had said something about it, but the opportunity to do some type of play action pass, like if you're, say your running back's on your left side, to be able to pull that ball out and quickly get it to your left hand. Is that something you've explored as well?
Well, yeah, me and my dad were just talking about that today, actually. He wants me to do like an RPO where like I hand it off here, and then I don't even have to flip my hips and get there. I can just do that. Or if I want to go to the other side, I can just do that too. So really, I feel like it's a tool to keep the defense guessing and they don't really know what you're going to do.
Dude, I'm pumped to see. Yeah. I watched the highlights from this past year, and like you said, you didn't really get to utilize the left much this year, dude. You got some fans in us over here. I'm excited to see you utilize that this year. I'll be watching the tape for sure, dude.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, especially as a defender. I mean, you're reading the quarterback. It's hard enough, to figure out like RPOs, but if you can do it from either side, like that's just a whole different ballgame. You feel me? Yeah. Like it's it adds a whole new aspect even to every level of that defense too. And imagine like sitting back at quarterback, right? And you come out, you get the snap, and you go to your left hand, and you're looking maybe this way, and not even to throw it, just you're holding it with your left hand, get a safety over, switch to your right, and here you are lined up, boom. I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of weird. There's like I'm not the guy to be a QB ideas. Yeah, for sure. Unlimited amount of things you could say. I'm definitely not that guy. But no, go ahead. What were you saying, Mike? Me and my dad talked about those all the time. So any sort of idea or thought you can think of, me and my dad have talked about it. That's awesome, dude. I was gonna ask you too. Do you got any dream school or anything that like if they putting something down on the table tomorrow, like you just want to sign away right away? Is there any school like that out there? I wouldn't say like a dream school, but I visited a lot of colleges and stuff this past fall and summer. Like I said, I really like Baylor. I like the Huskers, of course, but hometown for sure. To Oklahoma State, schools like that. But the one that stuck out to me the most was Notre Dame. Their culture and stuff is unmatched. I'm like about what they talk about. So I feel like it's a school that really fits me, and if they offered me, it'd be like a game changer. Dude, that'd be huge. A new head coach they've got too. That was the defensive coordinator, right? Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman. Sorry, Marcus Freeman. That video, them going nuts over that. Can you imagine playing for that dude? Yeah,
That's
That'd be
crazy.
awesome. I mean,
Yep.
it's nothing like me and my family, right? Nothing like me and my family down in LSU.
Brian Kelly is bogus for that. Dude. That was brutal.
Oh, dude, that was great. But dude, like I said, we're definitely gonna be tuning in, man. Best of luck to you going into this year, sophomore. A lot of big things ahead of you, bro. I really appreciate you coming on tonight, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you
Good
for
luck,
having
bro.
me.
Of course, man. We'll see ya. Hey, good conversation with Mikey. Cool dude. I liked him a lot. I actually did. I think I feel like he had a good time on the show too, which is more important.
Yeah,
I was like,
100%.
yeah, like he definitely. I wanted to let him know, like this is not some presser. There's
Super
gonna be
tough.
someone. Yeah, there's gonna be. I'm telling you though, especially like a dude like that, they're gonna try and take advantage of him. Some local guy and be like,
Yeah.
you know, just try and get his headline.
Well, especially a guy like that. I mean, wish all the best for him. You'd
Yeah.
think that he's gonna have quite a few reporters and whatever. But
I mean, he already has, dude. You Google his name and he's already got like news stories from like local stuff and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting. Like I said, I watched this film from this last year and he did not get to utilize that left throwing motion. But he says this year gonna be legit. But a team, what's that? What you got?
this is not my favorite spot. I'll tell you that right now. I cannot get comfy, bro. Or like
You don't have to look
mic-
at the TV anymore though.
I know, but like the mic,
You just
like,
gotta
I don't
sit.
even know what to do, bro.
Lay down. Like, lay down like this.
I can't. I'll just sit there and won't say nothing if I lay down.
Jesus.
The hell? You a
I'm
robot?
tired as hell.
All right.
Just unplug my head.
Let's talk some NFL. The Dolphins. The news about TB12, Sean Payton. It was real. We've talked about it. I kind of thought it was fake, jokingly. Ty's taking a nap in the chair. But Miami has been paying the price for illegally contacting Brady and Sean Payton while they were both under contract. Brady with Patriots, first with the Patriots, and then they kept doing it while he was with the Bucks. And then Sean Payton, obviously, while he was still under contract with the Saints before he retired. Even bringing up Brady owning a portion of the team if he were to come to Miami. Are you still awake? Is that a nod?
I'm just getting comfortable, man. I'm trying to show K how it's done. You feel me?
Jesus. But with the NFL,
Come on, bro. Lock in. I got it, man. The NFL fined the Dolphins owner Stephen Ross $1.5 million,
Yep.
and he's currently suspended until October 17th of this year.
there you go.
And they were stripped of their first-round draft pick next year.
Yep.
And a 2024 third-round pick.
He
So-
is 100% correct in all those stats. Thank you.
I have a question
No
though.
problem.
A suspension for a GM, correct? Or the
Yep,
owner?
the owner.
The owner.
What would that entail? Like, it's not like he's
Entail, you mean?
entail.
Just
sorry.
can't be around your own product. That's like me suspending you from your children.
Well, good thing I don't have any.
That's like me suspending you from Sarge.
Oh, you put it like that. When you put it
That
like
hurt.
that,
That hurt.
that's big time.
That hurt.
That's big time.
Especially
Now-
if you spent $1 billion on Sarge.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a good analogy. Actually, I like that. But another part of their investigation was about the team intentionally losing games during the 2019 season because Flores had come out and said that the owner had offered him $100,000 for each game that he lost. Right, they
Yep.
were trying to tank. Now the NFL's investigation, they did not find any evidence of that, so that did not come around as far as those repercussions.
I saw an
which is
article about
interesting.
that though. It was saying how they were talking to Brady, and when they like found out that we're gonna get Brady, all right, Stephen Ross was like, okay, I really like Tua from Alabama. So then they start losing games and then start doing good at the end of the season. So they fall to like 5th, and like before the season was even over, he was like trying to trade up with the worser teams
To get
to
Tua.
get higher in the draft to draft Tua.
Yeah,
And Tua eventually fell to them, so he didn't have to
didn't have
do
to go
anything.
up and get him.
But
Wow, dude.
like,
If that's
I
all
think
real,
he
then-
was intentionally losing games. I don't know how you can prove it, but but everybody do that.
But now you see this now, and you're kind of like, I mean, obviously the NFL is probably not doing this, but like for us, you got to bat an eye at it. You know what I mean? Like, if this is happening, then why couldn't that happen? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then that's been an ongoing thing, right? That's been a year in the works now.
Yeah, like
And
it's-
it's
yeah.
gone quiet, right?
It
We
has
can say
been.
we haven't heard
For
much
sure.
about it like we did right when it came out. You feel me? Like
And
we
so
haven't-
the exact word on it was that they had, quote, impermissible communications with Brady. When he was then on the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Then when he was still under contract, then also had they tampered with Brady. That's the quote. Once again in the 2021 season when he was under contract with the Buccaneers. This time, the conversation centered on Brady joining the team as a limited partner and possibly a football executive. So throwing in a piece of the team, throwing in some, because we knew Brady in the past had some type of say on roster control and on some types of other things. Quarterbacks have had that in the past. Prestige level quarterbacks. Peyton Manning was one they've talked about a lot. But to actually have that in writing, as opposed to just having someone who has the say, is ridiculous. I think.
I still remember that episode.
I think that's why he retired.
Really?
Yeah. When he retired, I knew he wasn't done.
We can't see you behind the microphone, by the way, on the cameras. Do you want to sit up, or are you just going to hide your face for the rest of the episode?
It's okay. I'll do it just for you, Cookie.
All right, thank you, bro. I want to do it for the audience. They want to see your face, for real.
All right, my bad. I don't think Brady, like, even just go back and find it. When I said he retired, I was like, he ain't done. I think he retired, and then he tried to see if there was a way he could finagle his way to the Dolphins. Like, get out of his contract with the Bucs and make it to the Dolphins.
So pull a Gronkowski when he found out he was being traded to the Lions.
You feel me? And
that's not the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I think he saw that there was no way that he was going to be able to get out of it, and he was like, all right, cool.
Look, anything with Tom Brady doesn't pass me anymore, so I believe it.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
No,
when he retired, I'm like, yeah, like he's
that
not
makes
done.
sense. You know, like once you say it like that, it makes sense.
Tom Brady is like he's like Michael Jordan. He won't stop until he fit in, like Kobe and them. They won't stop until they physically cannot do it anymore.
Right.
I think
you're not going to retire when you were just the best quarterback in the league.
Right.
When we start looking at Tom Brady, how we were looking at Peyton Manning, that's when he'll stop. Like when we knew Peyton Manning was bad at football now, like, all right, now it's time to hang it up.
And everyone knew.
That's the thing, too, is like you say bad, but like bad for them is just not to that same level. Like, that's what you're trying to say. Like, you don't.
Peyton Manning was bad.
You really think so?
His last year
with the Broncos.
I would not say he was a bad.
Jimmy, was he bad?
Dude, listen to me. Listen to me. You don't win the Super Bowl. Yes.
You could tell, though. He was like, physically, like.
Dude. He was not good.
He had more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah, it was bad.
Dude, I think Osweiler, people like wanted Osweiler to keep playing in the playoffs.
Brock Osweiler?
Yes.
Yeah. The Broncos fans were like, wait, like, should we put Payton Manning back? But obviously they played him for the playoffs because I think he got hurt for like, and then Osweiler came in and like lit it up. And then like,
yeah, I forgot about that, dude.
Osweiler did, and they got that huge extension from Houston. And then he just
fell off the grid. Yeah,
and he just like faded into nothing. Apparently,
bro, I'm telling you, bro, Peyton Manning was bad. I don't think Tom Brady ever like reached that. No, but Peyton Manning was never be that bad though. Like really bad. Like they won that Super Bowl solely off the strength of that crazy defense.
Their defense was nuts.
What I wanted to say is that I was glad
he deserved more Super Bowls because like he should have won more earlier in his career. So that was kind of like not like consolation, I guess, but
came back around.
Exactly, like karma, if you will. You know what I mean?
Good karma.
Exactly.
I wanted to say that I was glad that Tyreek is so high on Tua, right? Keeps saying all this stuff about him because obviously you don't go through and cheat your way to try and find a quarterback, even if it is Tom Brady. You don't go and cheat your way through trying to bring in another quarterback if you love Tua Tagovailoa so much.
Man, Tua crazy, man. I think I saw that
big season for him.
Yeah, that was.
Tua gonna have a good season.
Perfect spiral.
He needs to.
You saw the spiral he threw though.
The spiral he threw though. That was something else.
Did y'all see the spiral Joe Flacco threw?
Yeah, that thing was spinning.
Knock on wood. Joe Flacco, man.
That thing was spinning.
I hear reports.
Yeah, he having a better camp than Zach Wilson.
That's.
Hey,
could you imagine?
People have been high on Zach Wilson too. Like,
well, I mean, he's coming off like one of the freaking best. I don't even know how you want to put it. The greatest like polls of ever.
They saying Flacco is having a better camp than Zach Wilson, and they say that Sam Darnold's been having a better camp than Baker Mayfield.
I mean,
how much you want? But Baker did have a good 2 days.
Yeah.
Since I said that Baker been having a terrible camp, he had 2 good days.
Yeah, I remember.
So Jimmy, I guess you win today, but he was having a bad camp though. Until he had 2 great days though, the past 2 days.
Jimmy happy as hell.
So all you gotta do, you gotta keep bringing it back in, right?
I told him we could debate it.
Yeah, to kind of rewind us to talk about Peyton Manning. That last year, he had 9 touchdowns, 17 picks.
Yeah, that's bad.
It was terrible, Kobe.
Kobe,
is that terrible?
That's really bad.
No, that's terrible.
That's bad.
On 5% of his passes were interceptions. That's
terrible.
Crazy high.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's every 20 throws.
That's really bad.
That's really bad.
Every 20 throws, he threw a pick in there.
That's horrible. Damn. That's so bad.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Bad, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like a diehard Broncos fan, so obviously I watched football, but like I wasn't watching like, tuning in to see Peyton Manning every night. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of people were. I was not. But moving on.
But obviously, Peyton Manning's one of the greatest.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Yeah, right.
Brad said he's the number one.
Let's leave it at that.
Brad's put him at one over Brady, which is crazy to me.
It all depends on who you grow up with, which is huge. And for him to ride off in the sunset, it was definitely the right time for him, which is interesting. It's tough.
It's tough.
It is tough. But moving on to Pittsburgh, Diontae Johnson, he gets the deal done to end his hold in Pittsburgh. That's the thing we've been seeing from a lot of these wide receivers. He's like I said in the beginning, the final remaining receiver from that 2019 draft class. The deal has $27 million guaranteed and could be worth up to just under $40 million with all the incentives over the next 3 seasons. Pittsburgh did not actually, I don't think they actually released the exact amount of the contract, but we know like that with incentives, it could be worth up to that much. Pretty big for them. Like you said, he deserves it for sure. Yeah. People are really high on Pickens, though. People are really high on Pickens over there in Pittsburgh.
I wanted the Bears to draft George Pickens.
Did you?
Yeah,
I will say,
especially after you saw how he was watching the draft.
No, that was before then.
Okay.
Like when the Bears pick came up in the second round, I'm like we have to take George Pickens
because Robinson was already gone, correct?
Yeah, Allen Robinson was already gone.
Too. They could have got him.
But I know why they didn't though. He didn't test at all. So they didn't know how healthy he was as far as his knee. He played, but he didn't look good when he played.
Especially the new coaching staff and shit. You're not going to take a gamble.
So I'm like, man, I ain't mad at they.
Hey, I've seen a lot of buzz. I'm repping the Spartans jersey. I've seen a lot of buzz about Connor Hayward. People are really high on Connor Hayward right now. Like saying he's had the best camp of all the rookies.
You know who Pittsburgh is not high on? Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, they shouldn't be. He sucks.
He's no longer taking all the first team reps. Mason Rudolph has entered that conversation.
But he's a Pro Bowler, remember?
Right.
Alternate. He's an alternate. He's an alternate.
Pro Bowler.
He's an alternate.
Pro Bowler.
Hey, he had the 3rd highest QBR in the league that year.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. He sucks, Jimmy.
Jimmy, you said that the Bears would have won a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
The Bears won a Super Bowl that year. Parkey makes that kick.
They had your
They'd have lost to the Saints.
I don't think so.
They wouldn't.
I have a biased opinion.
Yeah, we're not going down that track today, fellas. We do not have time for that conversation today. But back on Johnson, he said, "I love being a Steeler and that he wants to finish his career here in Pittsburgh."
Well, they don't want him.
I wouldn't say that because Mike Tomlin had said that. He says his quote here was that he's a significant piece. He's done a good job of staying connected through the process. His train left the station today. I imagine it's not going to be much of a transition in terms of him getting up to speed. I know he was excited about work today.
He wanted a long-term deal. They didn't want to sign him to a long-term extension.
I did see, that's an interesting point because obviously going into the last year of his rookie deal, they're basically extending him another 2 years is what's going on.
I'd really like to be in a room like just to see like how can negotiations go down.
I tell you, I want to be here for the next 5. We'll give you 2.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, what do you say? Yeah, what do you say to that?
Disrespected.
That'd be tough. That'd be tough.
But
right to your face,
wouldn't that be cool though? Like if we were at, like. That's what cool, like Hard Knocks. You people love Hard Knocks so much because it's so authentic.
So soon too.
It's so authentic.
So soon.
Like 6 days. 6 days. Sorry.
Yeah.
6
what is
days.
It?
August 9th.
Yeah.
I'll be locked in.
5 days.
I'll be watching
5 days.
I want to see some Dan Campbell content.
We should watch that together. We all should watch that. That'd be kind of sick.
We can for sure. That'll be fun. But
Ty,
I mean, he was.
Going to sleep, boy. We're gonna be on fall camp. Y'all tripping,
bro.
Yeah,
he was wide receiver 1 for Pittsburgh last year. He had almost 1,200 yards on 107 catches and hauled in 8 touchdowns. So. Still wide receiver 1 there. Who else is in that wide receiver core?
Chase Claypool.
Yep, Claypool is the
George Pickens.
Who else though? That's
Ray McLeod.
Do they still have?
Do they still have James Washington?
No, he went. He
Do they
just
still
broke
have?
his
Who's
foot.
your tight end?
Pat Freiermuth.
Pat Freiermuth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Freiermuth.
Okay, yeah, no, he actually they really like him over there. I think, right?
Freiermuth, yeah,
He's good.
yeah.
I'll give it to him.
James Washington with the Cowboys, but he just broke his foot.
Yeah, he's out for the year. You know who? Someone tore their ACL too. I forgot who it was, but it's a wide receiver.
Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick. Yep, for the Broncos. That's a tough loss.
And Trayvon Diggs was getting obliterated today.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not new.
No, by like somebody named Simi Fehoko.
I mean, that's bad.
And CeeDee Lamb killed him too.
Yeah.
CD Raw though.
I was trying to pull up this picture here. Okay, we've
I haven't seen that before. Who's that?
No, we got it now. We're pulling up this picture. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a weird dude. And as Lions fans, I'll be the first one to say I'm not the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan in the world. The Packers quarterback, he's not only gone on to explain this tattoo and what it means. Oh, I got the screens messed up here apparently. But I cannot really understand it. Jimmy, I will say, you called it, dude, on as far as what was going on with this guy. You called it. It seems to have been.
It's pretty cool.
Right? Here's the tattoo. I finally got the screens fixed up there. For those of you who have not seen it for some reason. And it has a lot to do with astrology, which, not gonna rip him for that because I know it's, people are very into that. But this tattoo has kind of just really surprised a lot of people. And I think it's just opened a door for us to figure out who Aaron Rodgers is as a man. He went on a podcast and talked a lot about not only one explaining the tattoo. He says, quote, if you're not a student of astrology, there's going to be some weird things to look at here. There's 3 signs at the top: Aquarius to the right, Sagittarius in the middle, and Scorpio, on the far left. And I thought that was kind of the end of it. But then he goes on this podcast and he goes on to talk about the tea that he was drinking that had an influence not only on this, but this psychedelic tea that had helped him have the best season of his career in the NFL and won him back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah.
And most of all, like I said in the beginning, helped him show unconditional love. Because overall, that's what it's about, right?
Go talk to your parents, bro. Like,
Didn't he cut his entire family off or something? Did I hear
yeah,
that?
he did.
Like how are you gonna say you're showing unconditional love? You don't have a connection with your parents. Again, that's just media talking, but that's just what I've heard.
No, he did. He actually did. Because remember,
That's
Kobe,
so
we
sad.
stayed in an Airbnb.
Yeah,
We'll take it back
in
a little
Appleton,
bit.
in
In
Appleton.
Appleton, Wisconsin. And the people there were diehard Packers fans.
They love it.
I don't recall their names, but shout out the people that we stayed in their house for the
Airbnb,
Airbnb.
yep.
And they talked about how Aaron Rodgers was straight up. They were like, he's a dickhead to his family. He doesn't talk to his family.
So going
Jail.
on him here, we're talking a little more
Have you heard
about
about that, Tom?
the stuff that I've alluded to here. The drug itself is called ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, yeah.
Ayahuasca. That's a tough
Found
one.
in the Amazon rainforest.
It is. It's a psychoactive tea containing the hallucinogenic drug DMT. Is in the
5-MeO
tea.
dimethyltryptamine.
There you are, sir. Yeah,
I consider I'm a future scientist.
All right. For sure.
I studied this in school. Yeah.
Bet. I was scared for a second, bro. I ain't know what was
like
going
you
on.
know too much about
Bro,
it.
he said he just gave you the diametric, man.
No, I
I
took a
can't
class.
say it again.
5-MeO dimethyltryptamine. I took psychopharmacology last semester.
That ain't even English.
Oh God.
So
It's
you're
some
telling me
science shit,
Aaron
man.
Rodgers was tripping balls and got a tattoo like this?
yeah, real life.
Pretty much what happened.
He saw
my
he saw some
gosh.
he saw the moon.
He saw 2 lions facing each other.
He
and,
probably
like,
saw that image in color though.
He might have.
In his brain, he saw
He
that.
might have.
Like he saw it.
vividly.
He's
And he was watching Doctor Strange. That's why he got the eyeball.
That's
why he got the eyeball.
That's the pineal gland. That's like the third
He was watching Thor Ragnarok. That's why he got the ocean right there when Odin passed away. What else on there? The tiger. He was watching Life of Pi.
What the hell is this though? Like what?
And the spider web. He had just got done watching No Way Home.
It's good, dude.
He was on a Marvel marathon.
Oh, but
DMT.
he was on this podcast, and he talked about a significant change he felt in himself and in his relationship with the Packers as a franchise. He said, quote, I don't think it's a coincidence. I really don't. I don't believe in coincidences. The universe bringing things to happen when they're supposed to happen. That's what he said. And it's very, he goes on this rant. I don't even want to talk about basically all of this, but this is the really good quote right here. He says after what's it called, Jimmy? The drug?
5-MeO dimethyltryptamine.
Nope, it's the
Ayahuasca.
ayahuasca. After the ayahuasca, he says, I laid there afterward on my mat, and then I opened my eyes, and it felt like I was opening my eyes for the first time.
This-
It's probably what it felt like when you high. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't get high, I don't smoke, I don't drink, so I couldn't tell you, but that's probably what it feels like when you get high.
Opened his eyes for the first time.
But you know what's crazy though? Like if he said he did this, you feel me, 2 years ago, he literally just had the Packers by the throats,
Yeah.
threatening retirement if they didn't help him out.
Taking psychedelics.
So I'm wondering, I don't think it's doing for him what he thinks it's doing for him.
It's interesting, man.
But-
He said he kind of opened up and said he's taken the tea on more than 14 trips on
14?
a retreat in Peru after he had marriage problems, basically.
So this is my thing though. Like
What?
how he's
My
open
thoughts
about
exactly,
he's open
yeah.
about taking these whatever drinking
Ayahuasca,
whatever
yeah.
it is. All right, I don't know anything about it. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'm just saying in NFL retrospect, like someone can't smoke weed, but you can be open about taking psychedelics
About
and
ayahuasca.
tripping.
Yeah, it's...
But like that's my thing. Like there's there's some treatment, like the Aaron Rodgers treatment.
You want them to
Like,
get
They're not
suspended.
That isn't on the. It's not on the banned substance.
That's not what I'm saying.
The Lions can beat the Packers.
Okay, but no, I'm just saying, like, it's ridiculous to me. Like, you can say the same thing about the Deflategate and Deshaun and all that. Like, we always say it, you always talk about it, but like,
well, that's what they're talking about. Him, Deshaun, at least, and they've talked about Tom Brady at nauseum, but talking about leveraging their status as an NFL quarterback. And in certain cases, maybe it applies, and others maybe not. But it's such a gray area that is difficult to. There's no precedent for this.
Right.
I don't know how many NFL guys are on I'm blanking on it every time.
Ayahuasca.
I don't know how many NFL quarterbacks are on this. How many NFL players?
They can't do anything though, because they'd have to test him.
And
he'd have to fail the test.
Like the elimination rate, like the half-life is like super short on those kind of drugs.
He'd have to get tested.
No, I'm not saying like.
What would we do without our?
I'm not saying she gets suspended or nothing. I'm just saying it's crazy to see how they take different scenarios.
They technically can't do anything.
Right.
Because I could sit on this. I ain't even gonna say the wild shit that I was finna say, but I could say some wild shit, and it literally would just be me just saying it.
Yeah. He's thinking about. I don't know where he's going with that.
I don't know either, bro.
Can I fill in here?
Yeah, go for it.
So actually,
resident scientist.
I know why he has the eye.
Okay.
So
did it just come to you? Did you know?
No,
do you have the eye now?
No, he opened his eyes and it felt like he was for the first time.
Like so he has the eye because that is like the third eye. That's like the pineal gland. And it's actually right here.
Doctor Strange. That's Doctor Strange.
No, it's actually right here.
Did you watch the end credits? Did you watch the end credits?
No, I've never seen that in my life.
Oh no.
Okay, so you got
kick him off the podcast. Send him home.
All right,
okay, explain. Sorry.
Let me see my piece. So in the pineal gland, you actually have DMT. Like the drug that he took is in your brain right now. We all have it in our brain.
No, not me. I'm straight edge.
No. Okay.
Really though?
So, it gets released when you are born and when you die. So I think when he said, I opened my eyes for the first time, it's like he thought he died and then came back to life. Like that's what kind of happens. I've never done it before. I like read books about it.
Thank you for clarifying. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, just good for the audience.
Yeah. I have not done that, but that would explain the eye because the pineal gland stores 5-MeO dimethyltryptamine in your brain.
That is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy will be open Monday through Friday, 9 to 7.
He'll be doing
Feel free to stop by 2306 Fitch Avenue.
No, 322 Summit.
Bro, blur it out, bro.
Hey,
We can't be putting these people
You don't live there no more. You don't live there no more.
Hey.
That's why I said it, actually.
Like you just said a super bad word.
Hey, yeah.
But before we get into anything else,
Super bad word.
Before we get into anything else, reacting to some other videos and finish off the podcast with other stuff, we're going to go talk to our man, Cam Trudell, Associate Commissioner of the GLIAC, about the new GLIAC edition. We'll get to that conversation. We had a lot of fun with Cam, so let's get to that conversation first, and then we'll finish up the podcast. Some funny stuff, some not so funny stuff, but we'll wrap it up then. But if you stuck with us this far, appreciate you. We got another great conversation coming for you right now.
Like the video.
And subscribe.
Like it. We got some big news from the GLIAC earlier this week about adding another school to the conference. We alluded to it at the beginning of the episode, but who better to hear it from than us? We've got the man himself, Associate Commissioner of the GLIAC, and a GLIAC football alum himself, Cam Trudell, on the show with us today to talk about it. Cam, appreciate you so much, man.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
It's been a minute. I was showing you around the studio. Last time you just called in, I think when you had you on the episode last time, we were like huddled in my basement maybe, had the phone on, just like sitting next to the, where we had that little setup.
You guys have definitely evolved. And I like I don't know who did the logo behind you guys, but it looks awesome down there. It looks like you put some work into it.
I can't take credit for that. That was an Etsy buy. Someone laser cut that who was far smarter than I am with some type of machine. I don't know. I can't take all the credit for that though.
That's awesome. Well, it looks really good.
Yeah, no, this place, has definitely turned out, a lot better than I could have imagined. But the best part is definitely getting people like you on to talk about this stuff, especially when, when you break news like that and we're able to get you on like just later in the week, like that's huge, man. There's nothing else like hearing it right from the source, especially.
Yeah, man. Well, again, however I can be of service to you guys and answer questions as best as I'm allowed to. I can certainly come and do that for you guys.
And I'm not trying to get you on here and handcuff you, but we can get right into it. Roosevelt University, like I'll tell you, between us, I don't know about Jimmy, you being from down there, but I didn't know anything about it. And then I see this news that, potentially they're going to be the next team in the conference. Learning that it was right in downtown Chicago was really cool, but I guess just from you right off the bat, what made them a great fit for what we have going on here in the GLIAC?
Yeah, so I mean, you mentioned it. They're downtown Chicago. They will be the first Division II school in Chicago, right? So they're in a good spot as far as our footprint goes. And when you look around the landscape of where we are and who's around us, and if we want to try to add teams, again, I talked about it a little bit last time. It's hard to get teams to want to schedule against you guys. So the way that we kind of fix that is to expand, right? We want to add teams, and Roosevelt, great university. They're in a really good spot, right? They've got a pretty solid enrollment, and they've been around for a while, and great president, great AD, great athletics programs, and we are certainly excited to get them in the fold. They'll be members here on our 2024 schedules. They'll be incorporated into those. So we are definitely excited to add them to the GLIAC, and again to get someone else on you guys' schedules for you guys to have another opponent here in the fall.
Yeah, that's huge. And I'm just peeking. Oh man, what's that? I'm peeking right behind you there. What you got on the bookshelf back there? What's that helmet?
Which one? I got a couple. So
you're right. There's the white and there's the black underneath.
Yep. So there's a black one there. That's the Football Media Day. It's got the Detroit logo on it with the GLIAC down the middle.
Ooh, can we get a look at that?
Yeah, I can.
You ain't seen that Nystrom go one?
Yeah.
I didn't. Nystrom got one of those.
Easy way to do it. Yeah, Nystrom has one. It's a
Nystrom
got the GLIAC logo on it and some of the
Detroit
flair.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, go to Kyle's office and check that out.
I like that.
Then,
okay.
Up above, the white one is I was an administrator at Butler and Butler University in Indianapolis, and I've got a Bulldog helmet up there, and then I've got a smaller, near and dear to my heart, my alma mater, Walsh University helmet back there as well. So
I love it. You got to set up. You look like you're ready for TV, man.
Hey, man, one day. I'm ready for the pod. TV one day.
Good stuff. You talked about it a little bit, the process of admittance for Roosevelt, and it was interesting for me to see that process being approved to Division II next July before anything's even able to happen, and they can, like you said, come into our schedule in 2024. Is that as lengthy of a process because they're coming over from that NAIA and not from a NCAA Division III or something along those lines?
Yeah, so that's how the process works. If you want to go from NAIA to D2, it's a provisional. You enter into a provisional membership process. It's a 3-year process, right? Year one, you got to prove that you have certain staffing or you meet certain staffing requirements and facilities and operations budgets and scholarship budgets and all things of that nature. And then, right, year 2 and 3, you kind of get into the fold. Like I said, so they'll remain NAIA here for 23-24 as far as their schedule goes. And then they can actually compete in our schedule starting 2024, and they count as a D2 opponent while they go through that provisional process, which is huge for us.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. I guess I haven't really heard of a lot of teams. I just mean like making that jump in general, but that's pretty sweet information. Now, I will say they're not bringing just football, right? They've got, I think it said 15 GLIAC sponsored sports that they're bringing as a whole. So it's much more. I mean, we're a football based podcast. We're biased, you know what I mean? But like that's a big addition for GLIAC everywhere. It's not like we're going to be the only ones making that trip down there to Chicago.
Absolutely, man. Roosevelt, right? They're going to come in and they're going to try to compete across the board. So obviously we're here to talk football, but like you said, in addition to football, they've got pretty much everything. They sponsor a ton of sports, and I think they're going to be able to come in and be competitive. And again, being in Chicago, I think they're going to be able to recruit the Chicagoland area really well, again, being the only Division II in that area. So I think they're going to come in and hopefully make a splash right away.
No, it's huge. I know, we've got 2 guys sitting over here that are both Chicago guys. That's an interesting piece for us. We have a lot of guys from that Chicago area. I know Wayne State recruits that area pretty heavily as well, correct? Yeah. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that affects the recruiting landscape as far as the rest of the GLIAC teams. But on that same topic, football-wise, NAIA making that jump to Division II, I got to wonder if I don't know how much you can say about this, but were there schools like a Concordia Ann Arbor or a Siena Heights that were part of that conversation too when you first, started exploring these options? Yeah,
I mean, we're open to, and this is not just a GLIAC thing, but Division II in general, right? We've seen over the past couple months, schools are not just at the D2 level, but schools are jumping ship and going D1, and then D1's obviously you've got USC and UCLA who are going from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten. But I mean, that's just the name of the game and today's college athletics layout that we're currently in. And there, I mean, right, there are NAIA schools throughout Michigan. There are other NAIA schools throughout the Midwest, which again, if they fit our scope and they can compete athletically and they're a good academic fit, and right, we are always looking for private schools, and we obviously are dominated by state schools, which is great for us, right? But anybody who can be a good fit for the GLIAC, whether the NAIA, Division II, whomever it is, we are always looking to have a conversation.
Yeah, 100%. You kind of touched on what I want to talk about too, on that private and like that state school dynamic, which is interesting. And that's something that's been, at least from, I can't call myself an outsider, but from an outsider's point of view, like looking at the GLIAC, that's been a key factor in what schools stick around in the GLIAC and what don't. Oh, we lost it.
Sorry about that, fellas.
You're good.
I mean, 1 second. My lights are, they're automatic. 1 second.
That's funny. You got motion detectors in there?
I do. I'm too far from. I'm too far from the sensor though, so I had to just do it on my phone real quick.
You're good, man. That's funny. I thought we lost you. At least we got you on here because that would have been more work. But no, you're good. But I was just talking about the private schools versus the state schools, like you were saying, and where the funding comes in that department, and that's something that's been a challenge for a lot of schools. Northwood, most recently, being a smaller private school. Now Roosevelt, they've got an enrollment of over 4,000. So they're definitely not and that same level as Northwood, which is under 2,000, I want to say undergrad for sure, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, NAIA private, whether you're private, it doesn't matter. Like you just said, you could be in Northwood's boat, which they're not as well off as Roosevelt is as far as the enrollment piece goes. But again, Northwood, they're in a steady spot, right? They're fine. They'll be fine. That's who they are, right? But it really, right, we have you guys, right, Northern Michigan, and we have our other big state schools, or you guys aren't really worried about what the enrollment piece looks like. You guys will be just fine. And you hit on the funding piece, right? The funding looks totally different compared to or a state school compared to a private school. But right, there are a lot of schools right now, especially coming out of COVID, who are their mission is really focused on the enrollment piece and how they drive that. But I mean, at the end of the day, we could all use more students, right?
Yeah, especially when you go, like the further you get down levels of football wise, the more that filling beds becomes a priority for sure. You see some of these Division III teams, even ones that have really good programs, like a Mount Union, I think is a really good example. They'll bring in over 100 guys in a freshman class, and like a lot of guys, obviously they weed out, they don't make it onto the roster, but they're probably going to stick around, go to school, and that's right here, right? That's money in the pocket of the school. That it's a business at the end of the day. We get that for sure.
Yep.
But
I mean,
no, go for it.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, and that's right. You hit the nail on the head, right? That's at the end of the day, it's about filling those beds, and again, if schools are right, don't matter if your school is comfortable at 2,000 or 4,000 or 20,000, right? As long as you're filling those beds and you're comfortable where you are, that's the name of the game.
100%. Now, the big thing with that is being what people call fully funded, right? Division II, you're allowed, that certain amount of scholarships, so that the equivalencies of your school's tuition. Now, a lot of those schools, especially like some of those Ohio schools that used to be members of the GLIAC, that I feel like was a big reason that they had dropped out in the past. Your alma mater, Walsh, being one of them. And I think that's a dynamic that, obviously you guys never hope for that to happen because you want to retain a lot of your members, if not all of them, correct? So how do you, looking forward going into that, how do you kind of address that and make sure you retain some of those members?
Yeah, I mean, again, the fully funded piece and not being fully funded, partially funded, whatever you want to call it. Again, we want to be competitive across the board. We don't just want to bring schools in. Obviously, we want to get new members into the GLIAC and continue to grow the GLIAC, but we want to be competitive across the board. So the more member institutions that we can bring in who look like GLIAC and look like what we want the GLIAC to look like moving forward, right? Obviously, we're looking for stable schools, and schools who are, right, NAIA schools, they don't want to make the jump if they're not stable and they're not comfortable with where they are in enrollment, right? They're focused on enrollment and how we can drive that. and maybe athletics is the answer there. But the fully funded piece or partially funded piece, it honestly depends on the school's comfort level. And as far as the GLIAC goes, we want to continue to bring in schools who look like us and look like what we want to look like moving forward.
Yeah, no, I like that. And you heard, I mean, every coach, I think, at GLIAC Media Day was talking about, that was their fallback. Well, this is the best football in the country, D2. This is the best football in the country. And I love that because they all mean it. They're all like, that's conviction. Like, they all believe that. And I do too. I think we all do. But, Ty, you got something?
How you doing, Cam? I got a question as far as what goes into the process of Roosevelt joining the GLIAC and how long is that process? Because me being from the Chicagoland area, I know them as Robert Morris. And they just recently became Roosevelt University. Okay. And I'm wondering if them rebranding into Roosevelt was that them trying to make the jump to Division II? Like, what all goes in? Does that tie in at all, or I just want to know the process of them coming in?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. Again, you have to hit certain thresholds as far as staffing and scholarship budget, facilities, the whole. Like, you have to fit. Again, not the GLIAC. You have to fit the D2 mold, right? So again, there with the GLIAC, right? We have one piece where we're going to say, hey, we will approve this school based on these factors. But the NCAA, they're going to look at it and say, hey, you guys can become Division II if you meet this certain criteria, right? So I know that Roosevelt and Robert Morris kind of combined, or whatever the case happened there. Honestly, I'm not sure if that was part of their plan to end up at some point going Division II, but here we are, right? So again, they are where they are now, and for all we know, they are Roosevelt, and this is the Roosevelt we started having a conversation with a while back, and they want to go Division II and they want to be part of the GLIAC, right? So again, they go through that provisional membership process, and as long as they can meet the criteria once they get to the end of the 3 years, hopefully the NCAA says, hey, you're ready, and you can come out of that provisional status and become a full D2 member.
Yeah, I didn't know that right off the top, but I know I had definitely heard Robert Morris before. I guess I didn't realize that's over with, huh?
Yeah, they merged until I don't want to say 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay. Good stuff. But I did want to touch on, too, is that you talked about how crucial them being in Chicago was and expanding that, I guess, geographic footprint of the GLIAC. How much of a consideration was that, even if it's going to be some long-ass bus rides for the boys up in the UP. But, with that being said, how important is that to not only expand it as far as membership goes, but as, just to really branch out? Because at one point, schools in Illinois, in Ohio, Indiana, those types of states, and now we've been really contained into Michigan. How important is it to get back out and expand that footprint?
Yeah, I mean, again, if there are members or potential members, again, Chicago. So if we look at Chicago, it's honestly, I don't know if you guys have put it in your GPS yet, but it's not a terrible drive. I remember being on a bus from Walsh. Yeah, it's not terrible. I remember being on a bus from Walsh up to Marquette, and that was one of the longer bus rides, and a lot longer than I'd like to sit on a bus. But the Chicago Marquette, Chicago Lake State will be the longest trip. It's not terrible. And again, I know Purdue Northwest, Wisconsin Parkside, they don't have football, but Purdue Northwest is a rock throw from where Roosevelt is. So, right, we've already got schools who are making the drive. You guys in basketball and all your other sports, you're making the drive down to Purdue Northwest and vice versa. Right, yeah. Not a terrible drive. So, again, with that being said, geographically, right, we want to do what makes sense. We don't want to put our members in a bind. And when we go through this process, right, it isn't a, hey, Roosevelt says they want to be in, and our commissioner is like, okay, you're welcome, right? No, it has to be vetted, right? It goes through a process. It goes through the membership committee, right? Our presidents are involved. And if it doesn't make sense as far as a geographic footprint goes, then certainly we won't put our student athletes in a position to where they're sitting on the bus for way too long or missing too much class time. We want to continue to add members that make sense and kind of fit the mode of where we want to continue to expand. And again, we want to continue to create a great student athlete experience. So we don't want you guys sitting on buses for 80 hours.
You're not going to be ferrying us across the country for every conference game like the Bruins and the Trojans out there in California?
If we had the PJs that the Bruins and the Trojans had, we would certainly probably jump on that. But unfortunately, Unfortunately, we don't have that kind of money yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. Hey, emphasis on yet, huh? But you were saying before we got on, can we count on you making a trip up to Marquette this year? See a game in the Dome?
Absolutely. I know one of you fellas said you have a couch and a TV over there for me, so
that's tight. That's
I'll
all
certainly.
No hotel. We got bread, peanut butter jelly, couch, fan, TV. I got a PS4 that ain't plugged up right now. You can use that.
You lost me with the peanut butter and jelly, man. If you just said we had a burger or something.
Oh, we get you a burger. You know what I'm saying? Some people, I know if it's simple, man. Peanut butter jelly. We got burgers, bacon, all that chicken.
You know what, man? I definitely plan to visit the UP. I was actually just up in the UP at Lake State for our SAC retreat, which is a great time. But plan to get back up there. I actually want to get to a game in Marquette and a game in Houghton. I tell you what, I don't know if you probably don't know a whole bunch about Coach Olson up at Michigan Tech, but Coach Olson sounds like he's a phenomenal smoke master. So he pulls out his Traeger and gets the brisket going apparently, and brings it into the office. I did know
that.
You should go to our game against. You should go to our game against Tech and Houghton. That's the game you go to.
That might be the thing I do, man. Kill two birds with one stone, and hopefully get some good food while I'm up there.
No, he won't cook for you after the game. You're gonna be too mad.
Not after an L, no.
No, but you're totally right. I know I got a bunch of buddies on that team, and I took an official visit there, and I remember meeting with him, and he that was his icebreaker, I think, actually, talking about the skills out there on the smoker.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's a great guy. All of our GLIAC coaches are great dudes. Coach Nystrom, love Coach Nystrom. Right, the 7 head coaches that we have right now, they couldn't be more fun to work with, and they're a great group of savvy veteran coaches. And
yeah, that's a good word.
Coach Olson is the man.
Yeah, 100%. Now, before you had let me know there was going to be maybe some more potential news. Now, unfortunately, you said it's going to be pushed back. But when can we expect to hear about some more history from our conference?
Yeah, Monday, 12 o'clock. Keep your eyes peeled. Look at Twitter. Check it out. There'll be some exciting news coming you guys' way. Something we haven't done in the GLIAC before, and quite frankly hasn't been done a whole lot across the country. So we're kind of breaking the mold and excited to make this announcement on Monday.
Awesome. Hey, I'll be tuned in, Coach. Once again, cannot appreciate you enough, fellas. Cam Trudell, appreciate you, Cam.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming on.
Seriously, this has been great, man. It's been fun.
We'll see you in the
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. Have a good one, Cam. Thank you.
Hey, I'll see you, fellas.
See ya. Great conversation with Cam Trudell. Good dude, man. He's a good character. That helmet was sick.
Definitely a friend of the pod.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Second time being on the podcast. That helmet he had was awesome. I didn't realize Nystrom had one of those. You've seen it, though. It's
you gotta go see it.
We gotta go bombard that office, bro. Take that helmet. No, I'm playing.
That's funny. But moving on, we got some funny stuff here as we get closer to wrapping up the pod. This has probably been a long one. I don't know where we're at time-wise exactly, but
hour 37.
The Bills rookies. A lot of teams do this. I know Aiden Hutchinson had to do, I forget what song he's saying, but he, I guess, made his did one song for the Lions. MCDC was talking about it at one of his pressers, but these are not the Lions rookies. These are the Bills rookies singing Backstreet Boys, and we'll play the video, and then I'll turn the volume down. But tell me what ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me what ain't nothing but a Tell me what. I don't know why they're shirtless, by the way. That's part of it. It's gotta be a single. Yeah.
I listened to Bet on It by Troy Bolden today.
Yeah,
you listened to Bet on It by Troy Bolden?
We got walked through today. Ty was singing that shit word for word.
Are you serious?
He said he wanted to be like Troy Bolden when he grew up when he was a kid.
That's hilarious.
That shit kind of raw.
It is. Bro, just listen to the song, bro. The song is hard.
No, the lyrics are good. Like I'm not hating. I'm just saying. I was just saying that Ty was doing that shit today. It's like he sings, he does basketball, and he gets a hot girlfriend.
If you
No, Troy Bolden, I'm saying.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was saying about Troy Bolden.
Okay.
Ty don't even play basketball, bro.
Like, damn, what the hell?
No, Ty said that today at the field, bro.
Jeez.
Ty said that at the field.
What? I'm like, damn.
Nah, bro. I'm talking about Troy Bolden. That's what Ty said at the field.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying,
Come on, now. You said that shit today.
But no, he did. Like, Troy Bolden was the perfect dude.
Yeah.
He had a you feel me?
He all-American Troy Bolden.
He was right hooping, you know what I'm saying? And
he an All-American.
He's literally an All-American.
Yeah, All-American boy, man. He a movie All-American boy.
They don't get no better than Troy Bolden.
What I wanted to ask you though,
That was funny.
That was
really funny.
funny.
That was funny.
I was stuck.
What I wanted to ask you is if you had to go, you get drafted tomorrow. You're a rookie on an NFL team, and you're gonna do this. We'll say not shirtless, but you got to perform solo, and you get to pick your song.
Without Me by Eminem.
That was quick. Yeah, that was really quick.
I'd probably go
Really?
Rolling in the Deep by Adele.
Rolling in the Deep. I like that pick actually. I really like that pick.
If you ever
Ty,
hear,
you got one?
hear me in the shower, bro, I'll be busting that out. Rolling in the Deep.
Lady in Life by Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Quan loved that shit, don't he?
That's okay. That's a good pick.
Quan on.
Yeah, we were cleaning the gym the other day, and he had that bitch blasting.
There'll be no darkness tonight. Play that song before you go to bed tonight, Kobe. Kobe, I'm telling you, bro. You like Kobe. Like
He
that's
would
the
love that
greatest
shit,
song.
bro. He
like,
would
Kobe,
love it.
Play it. You gonna play it when we turn this podcast on.
I will. I'll probably love it too.
And you gonna be like, damn, like Mike is really talking right now.
Mike.
Like you know him personally.
I call him Mike.
Shoot, I'd be something Marvin Gaye. I'm a big Marvin Gaye guy.
You ain't seeing Mike.
I'm not tearing him or anything. I'm just saying I'd definitely
am.
be singing some Marvin Gaye. If This World Were Mine by Marvin Gaye. You heard that one?
You ain't seeing Wanna Be
I
Starting
ain't never-
Something.
Have you
Only-
heard it though?
Only
Yeah,
song
I
I know is like, that's Marvin Gaye and get. That's not even him. He doesn't sing that.
yeah.
Come on.
I don't
bad.
listen
Can we
to
get
that
to the next
shit.
topic? He just ruined it.
Yeah, that actually.
I don't listen to that
Play
shit.
the next
That one
video.
hurt a little bit. That one hurt a little bit. Here,
I'm too young.
Oh,
I'll
this
get
Chief
the-
Keef.
I'll get the next
Chief
one.
Keef.
I'll get the next one loaded up here. Hold on, give me just a second.
I seen this one.
But that's tough. You did see this one?
I didn't see this yet.
This
Is
is
that
terrible.
Becton?
So hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's me get this
He's
set up
big
here.
as hell,
but,
bro.
So this is Mekhi Becton. He was their first round pick this year, I believe, correct?
Last year.
Last year.
Sorry, yeah, last year.
He's got a year under his belt. Yep,
And
Louisville.
at practice, we've got a streak of these coaches thinking they can hang with these guys. We had, was it Keenan Allen that broke the dude's ankles last week?
Yep.
And now we've got this dude standing in front of Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton is for those who don't know him, you can see him right now. He is a large human.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He is a large human. I don't know what makes him think that he is capable of taking that stiff arm.
Holy shit. Oh my gosh.
That coach isn't like that little either. He's like
No, that is
That's an
a
NFL
gotta be like
coach,
six
that
bro.
is a normal
Maybe like
size,
6'2", 6'3"?
above average size
Yeah.
tuning right there. And
coach-
he puts him on his keister, bro. That is awesome. You love that though.
What's
And
Becton,
it's
like
not like he's
6'7",
not ready
6'6"?
for it either.
No, he totally is for sure. And you're right. Compared to Becton, he doesn't look tiny. Like the coach doesn't look tiny, and he just oh my god. But what in your right mind? What makes you think like, yeah, you know what? Let me get in here. Let me take one of these. Give it your all. Give it your all. Come on now. Come on, Mekhi. Give me that. Yep. Oh.
You don't even look like he's trying, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He barely even did anything.
I love that, dude. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
It always makes you think back too, like you see the ones I think that go viral all the time are the running back drills. The guys who like hold the bags for the running backs. I feel like they always get knocked over. There was the one of like I think it was Derrick Henry, right? That he brought out the chair, like the TikTok.
Oh, that shit was funny.
That
as hell.
was funny.
Come on, Derek.
Yeah, that one.
It's Derrick Henry. He needs more.
That one was funny. But finally, we've got one more here. I'm not gonna play the audio on this one either. Ty, did you see this one?
Yep, I have seen this one.
Damn it.
What is
Damn
it?
it.
I hadn't seen it.
This dude's a character, by the way. Absolute stud football player, Vita Vea. He is a stud, but he also has a gift for shotgunning. This is a Gatorade, but
Canned Gatorades.
I'm assuming he can shotgun more than Gatorade pretty well. He put this bitch down.
Damn.
And he just threw it on the ground. And look at his boys laughing. How sweet are canned Gatorades, though?
I've never seen a
badass,
canned
dude.
Gatorade
That's,
before.
they had to
That's
be really
like OG.
old. They gotta
That's
be
OG,
old.
yeah. Look at him, man.
That's got like a 90s thing, right? 80s, 90s.
Where,
Yeah,
what do you
it's
just
like a
store
retro.
Gatorade since the
No,
90s?
I'm saying they must have. Obviously, they brought him back, but like when they
yeah,
started,
yeah.
I drank
That's
Gatorade
where
out of
the
a can
can is
before.
from. Yeah.
I never have.
We had him at school like the lunch line.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah,
You guys are bougie like that?
I stopped going to lunch at school.
Man, we
I
had
got my
True
car.
Yeah, we had True. We had no
Yeah.
Gatorade in a can. That's crazy.
That's kind of cool.
But dude, if we had Gatorade at practice, I'd put one of them down like this. He literally asked the guy, dude, I don't have the audio on right now, but he asked him, he's like,
need water
he goes,
at practice.
you got a key? He's like, anyone got a key? And then he cracks it open like that.
I can get it with my
thought that was
tooth
awesome.
right here.
The canned Gatorade.
Yeah, or just a Gatorade. Yeah, sure.
Jeez.
I'm just saying.
You fool.
What? I drink Gatorade, bro.
Just messing with you, Joe.
Moving on. That was our, I don't want to laugh into this next topic. It's always tough to bring this stuff up, right? And I think we learned the first time we talked about Dwayne Haskins at the beginning of our podcast that one time, and it was just tough to talk about anything else, like for the rest of the podcast, right?
sure.
It's tough, and I don't want to. shine a bad light on this or put any type of negative connotation on this. I didn't want to save this for the end for any particular reason other than that. I want to be upbeat on here. But EyQuan Cobb, he was a player at Davenport. He was killed in a drive-by shooting in his hometown of Detroit. And from everything that I've seen and read, he was an innocent victim. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He had played for the Panthers for, I believe, 3 years. It was just, when that got announced, I think it was pretty crazy. You never expect that from anyone, especially at this level.
He's just a kid, man.
Exactly. 100%.
Just like us, bro.
Yeah, bro.
100%.
It's just senseless. It's a senseless crime.
So that was terrible to hear. But like I said, a 3-year player for Davenport, and it's just like, you got to imagine, like, it's not even like ridiculous to imagine too, like, if that could have very well been one of our guys. Like, we got guys from there. We got a lot of guys from Chicago where stuff like that, potentially could happen. All it is just wrong place, wrong time, and it's terrible that is something that just happened to him like that.
Crazy, man.
It's unreal.
Thoughts and prayers to like the kid's family and loved ones, man. Especially that football team, because you know how a locker room gets with, building friendships, and it's more like family. You're around those guys every day, and it's like your brother. So we're thinking of the Davenport, the athletic teams, and especially his family in the time like this.
Yeah, 100%. And from their head coach, Sparky McEwen, he says that words cannot express the pain felt right now, that their football family is heartbroken, obviously, to hear of that news. And he spoke very glowingly of him, said he was a light who always had a smile on his face. He was a hardworking student-athlete, focused on graduation, which would have been in one more year. That's what's really difficult to grasp about this, too, is that he was that close to a goal that was feasibly attainable, and then that was just taken away from him, which is really difficult to think about. And there's more words too, but there's not much else.
It really
you can
isn't
say.
though.
Yeah,
you can't really. What are you supposed to even say?
Yeah,
other than I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. Really.
Exactly. So I just wanted to obviously give him his respects on here, covering this conference and football as a whole. And then the other guy, we're gonna go back to back here, Vince Scully. At least he did make it to the age of 94, which is obviously a way different, different situation. For those who don't know, Vince Scully, legendary broadcaster, had a career of calling games, called baseball games for 67 years. I mean,
like that famous play with Joe Montana throwing it to Dwight Clark in the end zone, like against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
he called that game.
I saw that clip.
He called that game too.
That clip's been circulating around a little bit.
It's really cool.
There was a thing on Twitter too. There's a lot of Vince Scully highlights swirling around Twitter, just because they're bringing up good memories they had of him. And someone said that there was a play, and it was a Dodgers against the Giants, and Kershaw was pitching, and there was probably 6 errors on the play. And Vince,
6 errors.
I'm not kidding. It ended up being an inside the park home run when it's a ground ball to shortstop. So Vince Scully he's like making it sound like it was just the craziest thing. And here goes the ball. That's the first baseman. He throws the ball into left field. Oh God, the Dodgers look like the Bad News Bears. Like, it's just stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, where he was just a guy that, just a voice that everyone knew.
He's the best baseball announcer.
Like our grandparents even listened to. You know what I mean? Like something like that. It's pretty cool. But
so I bring it up too because the Dodgers this year will actually be honoring Vin with patches on their jerseys, and I've got the thing pulled up here. I don't have a. Let me see if I can actually. Let me get it pulled up a little bit better here. But let's see.
I can't even think of another announcer that has his persona.
His charisma, right?
Anything.
Ernie Harwell.
Yeah, Ernie Harwell was someone that he actually talked about when he was
they were
Detroit,
good friends.
because those two knew
They were
each
great
other.
friends.
But
Ernie
here's the patch that the Dodgers will be wearing this year to honor Vin. They've got the microphone on there, and that will be on all their uniforms, which is awesome.
That's awesome, yeah.
Very cool. You see the profile picture there for the LA Dodgers, which is just a sweet tribute. Obviously, like a patch, people will say like that, but it's just a nice touch, right? It's just something that
means a lot.
It's
to
a
the
classy,
private players and the organization.
A classy move for them. And then you also had, this was up in Dodger Stadium. There you have. There you are. Johnny says, join us at Dodger Stadium tomorrow for a special pregame ceremony honoring Vin. And they've got a bouquet of flowers up there and stuff, which is nice. And honestly, the least they could do for a guy that did so much for their program and their franchise. So.
Rest in heaven, Vince Scully, man.
Rest in heaven to both those guys, honestly. And it's like both. I said, it's tough to finish out a pod like that, but you gotta
pay your respects.
It's gotta be said.
Right.
It's gotta be said for sure. But if you have made it this far, I think this episode's been a really good one. It's been all over the place. It's been an interesting one.
Yeah.
All the
really
emotions.
One. Yeah.
All the emotions.
Seriously.
Laughs.
Full range.
Luckily, no cries,
Sorrows.
but Kobe was close.
But if you have made it this far, thank you very much. More good stuff coming. Camp starts next week. We'll see what the schedule looks like podcast episode wise. But we're not going anywhere. Still gonna be uploading. Still gonna be posting. And appreciate you all. Have a good weekend.